I'm planning on getting Emilie. If for no other reason than she's burning and I want something new. Yep, that's all the justification I need, legit. Dude, it's Genshin. Genshin. I've been on the game way too long to care so much about character strength, role, or element. I guess it's just a perk of being here so long. I don't have to consider that stuff anymore. When you've been here so long and you don't need anything, you can focus on just acquiring and building who you want. I don't particularly have a need for Emilie other than just for enjoyment. That is, as it stands now, anyway. Yeah, see, everything I just said pertains to the current game. There's no need for her now at this particular moment, but if there is one thing that can be said about this game, it's that you can't predict the future or prepare for anything. And although I'm getting Emilie now for the sheer enjoyment of it, I wouldn't be surprised if she turns out to be a very strong character that actually will have some good purpose later. The extent to which Dendro shook up everything was something I don't think anyone saw coming. I mean, of course, everyone knew it was going to change the game. You can't just add an element into the game and not expect changes, you know? Of course it was going to do that, but it was absolutely transformative, to the point that the value of some elements completely shifted. Electro now is 10 times better than it ever was. Meanwhile, Cryo is kinda just dead in the water. Well, that's not a good one. Maybe I should just say it's on ice? Bad puns. Anyway, yeah, it's changed a lot. And some characters are way more useful than they used to be. Kaching now gets used? That's kinda crazy. Toma gets used in Burgeon? Like, yeah, it's done a lot. And let's not even talk about Kuki Shinobu's strength now. Well, really, actually, you know what? Let's talk about that, yeah. Hyper Bloom is actually insane. It's kind of crazy. Kuki's Ascension was a near quintessential glow-up, you know? When she released, everyone was kind of confused about her value. She had those weird scalings, wasn't particularly the best at anything. Yeah, and now look at her. She's kind of just on top of the game. I remember Kokomi being the same way. She wasn't valued at first, but oh boy, look at her now. Like an S-tier unit, highly valued, highly respected. Kind of Chiori as well. Still not the absolute greatest unit into that, but Chiori is considered much better now than she was at launch. A respectable character, but entered the game through a barrage of negativity. I know one thing, she's a core unit in my Navia and Noelle teams, and I have zero regrets. It's just, people have a history in Genshin of writing characters off. And it happens all the time. Every time a character comes out, it seems, there's people that are like, oh no, this character, it's not going to be a good one. Okay, maybe not every time, but it happens way too often. And then a character is good and suddenly there's regret for skipping them. Dude, Kazuha was the perfect example. Like, he released in 1.6 and just never came back for ages. The skippers doubted him in a big way, including me. Yeah, and that was a mistake. That was a big mistake. Once it became apparent how good Kazuha was, though, like, everyone wanted him. But what did Hoyo do? Did they rerun him so the skippers could get him? No, of course not. Why would they do that? Hoyoverse kept Kazuha off the banners for like over a year. It's such pain waiting for his return. But I tell you one thing, the skipper snatched him up on the second go around, including me. That wasn't happening again. When I think about Emilie, I just feel she could be a case of that. She's releasing right here at the tail end of Fontaine as the game's premier Dendro burning unit. There's no apparent need for her right now unless you just kind of want to play burning. But if there's anything that situations like Kuki and Kazuha tell me, it's that you cannot prepare for the future. Burning is an open playbook. There's just no telling what she'll be able to do once we get into Natlan. Her strengths, her synergies. And not to mention there's the Pyro Archon herself. You know, Pyro. The other half of Burning. Yeah, not to mention there's the Kenichi guy coming who is also Dendro. Just saying. And Emilie is right in that prime position to be set up for greatness. The exact kind of character that players sleep on. And when I think about it, it's like putting her in Fontaine gives that mental separation from the Natlan characters. That mental state of, oh, she won't matter, because all of the Natlan hype and all that just have people writing her off. Everyone's so busy just looking towards the future and sleeping on what's right there in front of their face. Then it turns out that she works insanely well with like the Pyro Archon or something, but doesn't return until like 5.8 or 6.0 or something. JUSTSAYNG, just saying. We've seen it before, man. I'm expecting her to pop off. I don't know how, I don't know in what way, but I'm expecting her to. In the end though, even if she doesn't have good meta purpose, it'll be fine. As the premier Dendro Burning unit, she'll add some variety to the game, which again for me is the point I'm at in the game anyway. If she will be one of those sleeper units that hyper bloom into a star character, that's a W for me. See what I did there? But if she doesn't, it's whatever. Just activating a new play path is fine enough for me. Burning just seems like it'll be fun to play with. So I can't personally go wrong. Worst case scenario, she's mid and I have fun trying something new. And best case scenario, she's good and I have fun trying something new and good. I don't think someone newer to the game should necessarily risk it though, especially if they're trying to invest in meta. Yeah, there's other already established S tier characters in the game, and we don't know if she's gonna be S tier. That's only speaking from a meta standpoint though. If a newer player really just likes her and doesn't care about the meta, they should just get her. Because the game really isn't that deep in the end anyway, yo. I mean, honestly. But I'm operating from a place of veteran privilege. My account is just at a position where I can do what I want, you know? The days where I cared about meta pooling and meta building, they're just long gone. I'm gonna be honest. That's why I don't play Kuki and Hyper Bloom. That's why I don't have Arlecchino. That's why I don't have Nouvelette after having like 2 opportunities now to get them. It just doesn't matter to me. I get who appeals to me and that's just kind of it. So yeah, whether Emilie turns out to be good or not, I'll be playing her because I want to. That's all the justification I personally need. But my expectation is that she actually will be pretty good. In the event she will pop off like crazy in the future though, like Kuki or Kokomi or Kazuha or whatever, I'm going to be sitting over here to the side playing my Emilie, not having to wait a year for her to return. If I'm wrong about that, hey, whatever. But I've seen it happen before. Again, I'm not pulling her for the meta expectations in the first place. I just want to play Burning. But if she does turn out to be a sleeper hit, don't say I didn't tell you so.